Hello. Peepo Key.
Okay, I think we're live. I don't know. This is a very experimental episode. We'll probably get better as time goes on, but I didn't have time to test levels. I'm muted. Nah, one is just being toxic. Keepa. I'm apparently quiet, though.
1% volume Jeff and 100% volume PK.
Really?
Is it too low?
I'm at 15 decibels. Anyways, can anyone hear me at all? Because I'll introduce the show, but I want to make sure people can hear me. So.
Hello. Yeah, exactly. It's got a rhyme.
So, what's up, everyone? Welcome back after kind of long break, at least a relatively long break. Welcome to the Jeffco Bingo Talk Show. Now, I couldn't think of a better name. I thought about it all week, or at least parts of the week. Ramato didn't have any good suggestions, so I might change this. I might not. Who cares? Yeah. We got a new season. I'm joined by PK, also known as Primal Kiwi. If you don't know him, I don't know why you're, I don't know how you don't know PK in the community, but...
Yeah, you're a coward if you don't know me.
Anyways, this is kind of just like a chill talk show. Nothing too serious, I guess, but we'll try to do things a little differently than the other bingo show. Just focusing more on the matches. As the matches go on, we're probably gonna analyze them more. Which is something I kind of wanted to see. And hopefully, as the weeks go on, we'll look at a bingo card on screen and kind of talk about them. And yeah, it'll be a cool little addition, not replacing Lego's show, but anyways.
Yeah, Legos is better, Epo.
Legos is better. Also, Legos is gonna be on Spotify and shit, and I'm not.
Goddamn!
I don't know how to put anything on Spotify, so I'll probably just upload this on YouTube and call it a day.
Ours is just our opinion.
Ours is just kind of like I said, it's like the paper recap show. It's just just talking, just hanging out.
Yeah, we're vibing.
Anyway, yeah. So the format changed. The bingo season this time around is completely different. So what are your thoughts on that, PK? What are your thoughts on the new bingo format? Because I think I've heard a lot of people in GB's Discord talk about it, but I don't think I've heard you say much on the format. So give me your thoughts on it.
It should just overall be better. I think one of the main benefits to this is the flexibility that's being provided. Before it was very fixed. You have to play this many players. You have to play this many matches a week. Now there's a bit of flexibility with it. So if you have more time on your hands one week, perfect. If not, then that's fine too. I think the flexibility is very good. I think the whole ladder idea is pretty interesting. I was intrigued to see how picking players would go, because being antisocial is a curse for 90% of people on the internet. But then there's the pick randomly, and I was like, oh, sick. All right.
Chaos, Peepo, right?
I enjoyed the little Lego stream yesterday with the where he was picking the matches. He sounded like he was having a joyous time suffering, and it was perfect.
Yeah, shout out to Lego. He's and Ramato for coming up with it, but also Lego for doing that document thing. That looked. I was just doing a stream during it, so I didn't really hear him, but it looked crazy. I didn't really know what was happening. I had to have people in my chat describe it to me, because I'm a small brain. But yeah,
see,
it looks cool.
It was so I expect next week it's going to be way more annoying, because he's going to have to keep track of who was played the last week and whatever stuff like that. But it just kind of all of it kind of just fit in perfectly, and I was like, oh, that's so satisfying when he finally finished it.
Yeah.
Because it was like, because there's going to be scenarios where it's just not going to work, and he's going to have to go back through and try to fix it.
Yeah.
But first week should be good, and after that, it's chaos.
Dude, I love chaos.
Right.
Yeah, so for those who don't know, I didn't really describe it, but the new format gets rid of the division system. Not entirely. We'll get into that in a sec, but basically instead of divisions, it kind of cuts those out, and like PK said, it's just a giant ladder of bottom seed to top seed, and every week you enter a little draft. You can decide how many games you want to play, and it really does give a lot of flexibility whether or not you want to like move up, or whether or not you want to, you know, you can play as little as 6 matches, which is not a lot of commitment. Like, it's just, you know, you can take a little break. 6 matches is pretty, I mean, it still is a decent amount. Let's not undermine it. 6 matches is still, you gotta, 6 hours over the course of like a month or a month and a half, whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you want to play 6 matches, you can. If you want to play 12, is it 12? It's 14, right? I don't even know.
I don't know exactly. Like, are you allowed to only have 2 matches? Like, could you do 2 matches every single week? I have no idea.
I think you can. I actually think you can.
If you can, then it's 16, I think.
God, yeah, that's crazy. It might not be during the final 2 weeks, but I'm not sure. Yeah, the final 2 weeks are forced to play, so you get break weeks throughout the main season, but final 2 weeks, you do have to play, so your break weeks are going to be spread out throughout the first 6.
That's a lot for first 6 making... Okay.
Okay, so yeah.
2 every week, first 6, so 12, and then the 2 the next 2 weeks, right?
So 14.
14, okay.
After that, everyone makes playoffs, I believe, unless we're cutting, but I'm not sure.
I believe everybody does, and then it'll probably be like I think it's a 10-person bracket for the bottom 10, or something like that.
What do you think about everyone making playoffs as opposed to, the players who do the best making playoffs? Like, do you think that's a nice change? I'm a little unsure on that. Like, I kind of like it. I think there are players who felt a little sad they couldn't make playoffs, but what are your thoughts?
To be honest, I was one of the people who was like, "Oh, I'm out." Sick. But it's like the restreamer side of me says I'm in pain. The normal side of me says, "Okay, that's fine. This makes sense."
Yeah. Some players were sad they didn't make playoffs, but also if you play less during the season, maybe some players will be a little less burnt by the time playoffs comes around. Because I know I was hella burnt when I made playoffs. But it wasn't even like really because of the format. I'm gonna be honest, it's because of the Bry Guy controversies where I ended up playing like 5 extra it wasn't 5, but like 3 or 4 extra matches throughout the course of the season. I played like 20 matches last season or something because of that. Yeah. So it was that was probably why I was burnt. But yeah, there were some players.
I'm thinking of Rasmus, who basically was like just like every single playoff bracket. It was like this close 2-1, and it's like, damn, I gotta play another week.
Yeah, PK would push it. PK never would do a 2-0. It's just always like it has to go to a game 3. It's not against PK. Cannot.
No, it was Rasmus, not me.
Whatever. You also.
Me also, because I lost 2-1 right.
Yeah. That's because you did Fruit Ladies against Rasmus Kipo, but...
True.
Yeah, so I like that each player makes playoffs. I wonder if the players will like that each player makes playoffs. We'll see. I don't know.
It's gonna be weird for the, I think the bottom 4, because they're gonna have to probably play an extra week.
Yeah, and if there's a player who's like not into bingo, like we don't know some of these players too well yet, which we hope to do. Like we don't know Tanuki Mario too well. For instance, I hope he ends up enjoying. But like if it's a player who ends up joining, they don't like bingo. It's kind of awkward, right? In the last few seasons, but that's kind of the negative situation. I hope everyone ends up enjoying it, but we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But yeah, let's talk about the player roster a little bit before we talk about the matches. Who do you think is going to benefit most this season? Who do you think is not, and like where do you see this like top echelon evolving to?
Okay, so people who this benefits are the people who would have been either, or who have the potential to be Div 1, but would have been either stuck in Div 3 or in a way stuck in Div 2, but they probably, like, Div 2 is generally still fine for them. So Despin benefits greatly.
Yes.
Deathline benefits pretty heavily.
Yes.
And then, like, I'd say Urbani benefits, Libre, Dex. Dex really benefits.
Yeah, because Dex would have... I think Dex is like a very likely candidate in the old old format for who could have made Div 2, but unfortunately just had a really, really rough playoff. Now, granted, Juan also is very solid. He lost to Juan, who is also very solid. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
Like, both players are like Div 2 candidates in my opinion, but Dex really like was like just... I know he just did not have a good playoffs run. So... yeah, it very much benefits someone like Dex because he would have spent an entire 8 weeks or 10 weeks. How long are these seasons? I have no clue.
8 weeks plus something.
Yeah,
so I guess 3 or 4, I guess.
Yeah, so Dex would have just spent another season in Div 3, despite being very well a Div 2 player by now. If we went by the old season. So definitely getting rid of these barriers is huge. So players who this doesn't benefit, I don't know if it really does a ton for me because like, I don't know. It might, but we'll see. I guess I haven't.
It adds a lot of chaos, and I think the people it doesn't benefit are the people who were like technically safe where they were, but could fall a bit more. So that would be like Game Stable to me, Linky. And I guess it doesn't benefit Mason or Peaches because, like, they technically advanced to Div 1, but now they're kind of just in this barrier spot.
Yeah. Yeah, like... yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think the abolition of barriers are going to hopefully make people a little more motivated as well, because there really isn't a ton of limit to where you move up. There are technically limits. Like, I believe if you're, bottom seed, you're not gonna beat Ramato. You're not gonna be able to beat.
I think you could technically pass Ramato. I don't think you could get to first.
Let me reword that. I don't think you're gonna get to first. Yeah. But first is probably gonna be Ramato. So it's kind of like.
Yeah, Ramato cheated and gave himself more points, Kappa.
Ramato, like, if Ramato got lazy, he's not going to stay first, but Ramato likes being number 1 too much. I know Ramato's going to just do a bunch of matches still and try to be first. The Div 1 area is going to be really interesting. Like, I'm curious to see, honestly, how far I fall. Like, I know it's kind of negative, but I could see myself dropping quite a bit if I, Peaches, Mason, maybe like Despin or Bonnie, like they really have a chance to like make it to where I am on the bracket, especially if I just don't have a good run. So I'm curious to see how top 8 evolves to. I'm curious if I'm gonna make it. Like, I know I'm talking about myself a lot. Sorry.
There's like, I think in the top 8, there's 5 who are almost guaranteed to make it. In the top 5, which is Ramada, JJ, Danny, Hugh, Bry Guy. You're probably going to make it. You would need to, like, catastrophically fall apart. And then it's like... you also get a buff because of the division change, which gives a little bit more points and stuff like that. But then it's like... basically, it's just like the old Div 2 of who gets to the top of Peaches, Mason, Rasmus, Linky, PK, and does, like, Urbani, Despin, Dex, Libre, Deathline... do these players, like, any of those players I said could reasonably make it, and I'd be like, okay, I guess I could see that.
Yeah. I personally want to see Deathline pop off. I feel like Deathline is always saying they're, like, washed, and they, like, kind of talk themselves out of, like, growing in a way. I think Deathline... Yeah.
Deathline could be sick, or he could just like completely destroy himself.
I mean, that's also you, PK.
Yeah. Oh no, it's me too. Me and Deathline are going to be repping the bottom of the bracket by the end of the season. It's going to be hype.
I've maintained that PK is like one of the best routers. It's just I think his gameplay and execution. You know, I think your gameplay and execution sometimes is not on the dot, which you admit, which is why I bring it up to your face because you're the first one to say it. I would not call out anyone to their face like that otherwise. But you're cool with it, so you know it.
Yeah.
I hope to see you pop off though. I would honestly. If I lost to PK, or like even like lost to like Peaches, like Dex or Bonnie, like I would actually be very proud. I wouldn't even be like upset. I wouldn't be upset anyway, but I'd be like, you know what, you deserve this. Good stuff. I want to see you succeed.
There's a lot of people at Div 2 level who could beat Div 1 players. I think at this point it's starting to squish. Like Ramato's still ahead of everyone, but nobody cares about Ramato. So, like, but after that point, it's like, could I reasonably see JJ losing to Linky? Probably not, but yeah.
It could happen. Like, it's top 4 is just so weird. It's like Ramato... No, okay, I'm going to be honest. Ramato's matches, unless someone gets better, probably not going to be that interesting this season. Like,
I care about watching the JJ, Danny, and Jeff one.
I don't know if you should care about mine.
I mean, I almost don't, but like if it's draft, maybe you can bullshit it.
Yeah. I've beaten him in one scrim as opposed to like the 30 he's beaten me in. But we don't talk about those 30. We only talk about the one.
Yeah, you talk about the one because you're better than Ramato and he has a mental block, Tipo.
Yeah, Ramato's got lots of mental blocks. Danny's back. Ramato has a huge mental block against Danny, Kipo.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
He's never beaten him before. It's great.
But yeah, it's top 4 is really interesting. There's like Ramato, top dog, JJ, who's like a great player, not a typical Ramato beater. I don't know how to word that better. Sorry.
JJ has his own style that like sometimes can work, but it probably doesn't work against Ramato.
Yeah, it works against anyone else in the league, but Ramato is like too good at seeing through it, I think. Then you have Danny, who's like, I don't know. I'm very mixed on Danny as a player. Don't get me wrong, he's really good, but like, I don't know. I feel like some days he's good. Some days it's like if he gets invasion, it's a little
Danny
more
has
rough.
The best chance of contesting Ramato of anyone.
Yeah, for sure.
He also has could completely not show up at all.
Yeah, I mean, I think Danny, from what I know, joined because the top player pool was like not the greatest, and he heard I was 3rd seed and was like, "Oh yeah, this needs some work here." And essentially joined because of that, from what I understand. But I hope he does really well. Like, Danny is 3rd seed right now, but yeah, he's the best chance of beating Ramato easily out of anyone, I feel like.
Yeah. And then there's the classic Jeff Bry guy. That'll come down to Fruit Ladies again.
I sure hope it does.
You just like after a certain point, you just have to embrace it.
I'm just gonna pull the Ethernet cable when I start Fruit Ladies this time around, Kipo. And we'll figure it out
just
from there.
Mutual agreement to just pull the cord.
But yeah, Bry, honestly, like, he's not at all far behind me. Like, I technically am higher seeded than him, but when it comes down to like players, it's like he's pretty much on par with me. He's a great router, like better than me. He's just a little slower, which I think Bry's speed is what probably hurts him the most. And I think he would agree, which is why I'm saying that. But Bry is
he's surprisingly consistent for like not playing ever.
It's not like he shows up and is like, "How do I play game?" and like dies all the time.
Yeah, that's what I do. I don't remember how to play the game even when I'm playing the game.
Yeah, like when I see Bry play, it's just like a consistent like. I know he has a 119, but it's like a consistent like 120, 121 player almost. Like he's just like but it's consistent, right? It's just if the top player pool advances though, and we're gonna have like Ramato, JJ, Danny, me, Urbani, Despin, like if Urbani and Despin make it though, Bry is I feel like he's gonna like just fall a little further behind because people are getting faster. That's what we have to realize. That's why I think while Bry is one of the best routers of all time, easily, he's kind of fallen off a little the past few seasons, is because I think speed is starting to like matter a little bit more in bingo. than it used to. It's not like
I don't think it's that. I think it's that the speed players are finally figuring out how to route.
It could also be that, but like in general, like the faster players are getting better. Is essentially what I'm saying. And I think speed is hurting him a little bit more than it used to. Because back in the day, it's like, you know, him and Ramato were like closer in speed. They would play bingo all the time. But yeah, now it's like, if we have a top 8 where it's like, even Peaches, like Peaches is even a little faster than him at this point. Has a like
Peaches is faster. Mason is kind of relative at this point.
I'd say Mason's actually a little slower than Bryce still. Like
probably still a little slower, but like it's relative enough where if you told me they were racing to a goal, I wouldn't say, "Yep, this is guaranteed."
Yeah. I honestly think it would just come down to like no offense, whoever was like less rusty at that goal at that point, because I feel like
something like that.
Yeah, I don't think Mason actually plays that much. He's a very busy guy, to be fair. Like he doesn't have a lot of time to play. Not roasting him, but yeah, I don't think he really is able to play outside of bingo, which is totally fair. Like it's unfortunate for him, but I'm sure he's the type of guy that if he had more time, he would be grinding. Like Mason is a very serious competitor. He would be doing scrims all the time and like practicing, but he's just not able to put the work in, I think, for what he would like. Which
and he still puts a decent bit of work in even with being insanely busy.
Yeah, he definitely tries. Like that's something I like about Mason a lot, is he's just a hard competitor. Like he wants to play well. Like if he loses and he plays well, he's like still a little like meh about it, you know, which is totally fair. I'm kind of the same way.
Yep.
But yeah. Anyways, I think we covered. I guess we could cover like the new players a little bit before we talk about the matches for the week.
Yeah, we can talk towards.
Let me get up a list of the players actually. We'll talk about
talked about pretty much like decks up, but then you got like Juka, who
looked solid at the end of last season. I mean, like
she was starting to get the hang of it, I think.
Yeah, she was starting to learn how to route a little bit more. She's a lot faster than back then, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it'll come down to like if she can like derust enough in time. Maybe she should do some scrims, but yeah, I think she'll do well. She was like the last minute sign up, like literal last second. Like Ramato was like writing in the points when Juka was like, "Hey, I actually want to join. I have free time this season. Can I join?" And we were like, "You know what? Well, we're not gonna like say no to someone, and while we still have the window, it's like we'll let everyone in, you know."
Yeah, it's not like it was like a bad timing. It was just like, that's fine. This can work.
Yeah, we'll let everyone in. Oh, we didn't talk about Libre. Libre looked pretty good last season. I think Libre's biggest like downfall is he can be a little indecisive, which I think hurts a little bit. But I look forward to see what he does.
Libre is one of the most odd players to me.
Yeah, I think he's better at 2v2. If I'm being honest, like he's good at 1v1.
Yeah.
But like when I see him play 2v2, he's like a top. Like I know there isn't really a competitive 2v2 scene, but he's like a top 2v2 player. Like in a way, like he could honestly compete. Like he almost like won our little bracket like with Despin. Like him and Despin were scary. They could have actually like stood a chance. They wouldn't have won against Romano and Danny, but they could have like had a good show.
Yeah.
Which is pretty good when you consider like Libre's kind of in the lower echelon of Div 3. Excuse me, Div 2. He's like higher in Div 3. But
yeah, Libre's at this point he's probably like the second lowest player in the ratings that I'd say is Div 2 level. Dex being the lowest one for reasons of basically just getting unlucky in bracket last season.
As for the new players, we got Bread Ghost, who I don't know. Bread Ghost is like he's beaten Peaches, he's almost beaten Mason, but then like has lost to like players who are like theoretically like slower.
He just beat her Bonnie.
He beat her Bonnie. He beats some really good players and then like loses to like weaker players. So I don't.
Yep.
I'm not sure.
Bread Ghost is really interesting. I have no idea where he's gonna end up because I think he's around where I feel he should go. But Bread Ghost kind of sick at times.
He's good. He's good for what he like. Honestly, he's new. Like it's not that unfair to be inconsistent at that level. Like the fact that he's beating like Peaches or Bonnie, almost Mason at all.
Yep.
it's still pretty good.
He has a high ceiling. His floor is not good right now, and that's where he's going to have to grow at the start.
Yeah.
But it's, I don't know, he's kind of showing that he has potential.
He has some good. If he keeps scrimming and he learns like some routes, I think he could move to like top of Div 2. But will he? I don't know. Then you got like Lego, Derp, Tomato, Darkman, Pink, Mojungo, kind of like Div 3 from last season, May. Which I don't know. I don't know how that area will. Tomato will probably do very well. Tomato has been showing promise.
Of that group, Tomato's definitely like he's gonna rise.
Mm-hmm. Tomato's solid. He's like Div 2.
Probably will rise, but like Derp, Darkman, and Lego all are very. I don't want to say inconsistent, but they're like. I mean, I kind of want to say inconsistent. I think I'm going to say inconsistent.
Lego is like Mason to me, where it's like he is a very good player, like good router, but he just doesn't have. I don't think he has the time he would like to like put in the work. Yeah. He said a few times. Lego's a smart guy. He's like very smart.
Lego can route.
He can route very well. It's just his gameplay is a little, inconsistent, which he would be the first to admit. But it's also like he doesn't have the time he would like to put in, which that's the thing with bingo. Like it's not the most serious thing in the world. Like we don't have to quit our day jobs for it. So
if
there's a player like that who just wants to like play, we're not gonna. It's just how it is. They might have more potential, but sometimes you don't see it. Yep. As for like Pinkish, she looked pretty solid at the end of last season. Like she was doing a lot of scrims, and I could see a lot of potential coming out. She was doing like
Pinkish is pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
She had a rough. She had like Derp randomly learned how to play bingo.
Yeah,
which was not expected in the slightest. I think.
No,
but I think overall she looked pretty solid for most of the season.
Yeah. No, I honestly thought like Pink is she's smart. I think she's smart, and I think if she just continues playing, she'll do pretty well. Mojungo, I don't know. He's busy as well. I don't think he has time to play that much. But I hope to see him pop off.
Wait, we forgot about Yato.
We forgot about Yato, yeah. Dude, Yato was the legend last season who I remember in season one, like everyone doubted Yato. But except for Juan. Except for like Juan and like Larvae and Mason. And then season 2, Yato just kind of like popped off and made it pretty far in playoffs. I hope to see Yato continue to rise. We'll see. I could see him like beating up to Deathline, probably.
I could see him getting wins on Urbani Dustbin.
I could, but
it starts getting like, he probably doesn't, but hey, he could.
What are your thoughts on like the new players, like the players who are at like 78 points to start?
Okay, so Dingeman is sick. That guy's gonna go higher.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
I'm so hyped Denial's back.
Dude, I'm actually very hyped as well.
Yeah, Ramato, you cursed Yato last season. Like, it was your fault that he went 0-7.
Yeah. If Ramato put him, if Ramato put him 0-7, Yato would have 7-0'd. That's all I'm saying.
Exactly. It wouldn't have even been close. He would have won. He would have won Div 1 somehow. But Dingeman's sick. Denial, I'm thinking it might take him a week or two to get back into it.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't know how much he's been playing. It's been a while, probably.
It's been like at least 8 months, if I had to guess.
Yeah. But I think he'll get the hang of it again. I don't really know with the rest.
Zale has played bingo before, I'm pretty sure.
I know, I've heard of Zale.
They play like Pixel. They scrimmed Pixel like at least 5 times last season.
I saw a lot of Clue bingo between those two.
Well, it's still bingo, I guess.
Yeah, it's I think Zale could be good. I don't think there's any like Schmidt Schmidt could be good. Schmidt has been doing decently.
Okay, I do want to talk up Schmidt because I think Schmidt is actually getting very good. He's practicing a lot. He's swimming a lot. He's had a few. He beat Yato, who is pretty high above him. He can do very well. I expect Schmidt to do better. But we'll see.
It's like Bread Ghost, except for if you shift it down a bit. But could I see Schmidt beating someone like Juka, Yato?
Yes.
Lego, Bread Ghost? Yes.
Yes. Now, we haven't seen Schmidt in a tournament match yet, which can be very different. So we'll see. Nerves could come into play. Vipa has not done any bingo as far as I know, but they have a 119. It's a good time.
Oh, no, they're fast. I didn't even know that.
All right, we're going to get banned now for putting them at the bottom like Urbani we last season, Kipo.
You got this, Tanuki. I believe in you.
Yeah, Tanuki Mario has not played the game that much, but I'm rooting for them. You know what, Tanuki? I see them in the chat. I'm rooting for you hard. I hope you do very well. Feel free to ask questions. I hope to see them do well.
In the league owns the game a solid stack.
Imagine owning the game.
At Tomato.
Yeah, the emulators. I mean, if you do use the emulator, it's slower, so it's like kind of it's kind of like
you nerf yourself a little.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a nerf. Like PK played on emulator first season, I think.
True. Yeah.
Lego plays on emulator. All right, enough with the emulator callouts. Speaking of emulator callouts, Mars, he could do good. I don't know, maybe. I don't know.
I have no idea with Mars.
He has a sub 30 Noki too, which is a pretty good time on that level.
Let's go, Mars! So, all right,
Mars. It took me a while to get a sub 30 Noki too, and he's a lot slower than me, so I'll give him credit for that. I hope to see him do well. I hope to see everyone do well. But let's talk about the matches for this week. Do you have anything else to say about the players?
Did we miss anyone? I don't think so.
Rasmus. We missed Rasmus.
Yeah, we did miss Rasmus. Yeah, we did miss Rasmus. Rasmus is sick.
Yeah, Rasmus is sick. I hope to see him do well.
I think Rasmus is easily on the level of Peaches and Mason, and I think he could pass them. Fairly easily.
Right under Linky, or right under Rasmus is Linky, and I think Rasmus is actually pretty good step above Linky, to be honest, at least right now. I think when Linky, practices and is able to, do scrims, Linky gets very solid, but I think when it's, a little off practice for him, he gets a lot of work.
I don't think Linky cares as much this season, so it's it probably won't happen. I'm just gonna bully him the 1 week, and that's it. That's all that matters. Keep up.
But... yeah, Haywire. I think Haywire was also a last-minute sign-up. We didn't mention them. How was their season last? I think they had kind of a rough season in Div 2.
Yeah, they were in pain. They got the Rick win. I think that was it.
Dude, beating Rick is pretty solid.
Yeah, Haywire was in pain for most of last season, but I think he could be fine. I don't think, there were definitely some matches where he got utterly mauled in, but he also had a lot of matches that were okay, I can see why you were Div 2.
Yeah, he was even Div 1. Does anyone remember that? He was Div 1 first season. Ramato, sent me a list. He's like, who do you think should be Div 1? Had, Ombo, me, Mason, Rasmus, Linky, but we went with Linky because he's, more consistent. And I was trash at the time. Still am, Kipo, but yeah.
Linky's sick.
Linky is sick.
But we're talking about Haywire, dang it.
Well, they're friends, so it kind of makes sense to But yeah, I don't know. Haywire will do fine, probably. I could see him moving up a few spots.
Haywire could move up. Haywire could move down. It wouldn't surprise me either way.
Yeah, but at least you don't have to feel bad about as bad. Oh, I dropped a whole division. It's just all right, well, I have to work on the ladder a little bit more. So. Anyway, I don't know. Should we talk about players who didn't come back, or is that toxic?
That's toxic.
Okay, so we'll move on.
Ramato's banned, though.
Yeah, that was a thing I wrote down, but I feel like it's kind of not relevant.
Yeah, I don't think it matters.
Anyway, let's talk about the matches this week, because...
Let's just go in order.
20. Yeah, we're just going to go in order. Are you looking at the list?
I'm looking at upcoming matches.
All right, we have Guy versus this guy... I don't know who this is. Guy versus PK?
Yeah. That's a different list. Give me a second. All right. All right, I'm here.
All right,
Yes.
Bry Guy versus PK. I will let you give your thoughts on it because you're probably better equipped to talk about it than I am.
Yeah. Not. I don't love it that it's the first match. I'm not. I don't know. Usually, I need more time to figure out how to play the game, and week 1 hurts. But
Yeah.
it should be good routing wise. It'll be and it's in row control too, so I'm capable of beating him in row control.
You are. There was a scrim I was watching where you almost did.
Yeah, the scrim. There was a scrim I lost to him by I think 4 blue coins or something.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm capable of beating Bry. Bry's definitely favored. Bry's a better router than I am.
Yeah,
but there's definitely it still should be a very good match. It's either I'm gonna flub something massively like I like to do, or it'll be an actual good match.
Yeah, I think it'll be like a 70-30 or like a 75-25. Honestly, is probably where I'd put it.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Maybe a little higher, maybe a little lower. I don't know, but yeah, it should be a good match for Bry Guy to even if he loses, come back to bingo a little bit with, because you'll probably keep him on your toes while Bry is still favored. So
yep,
should be interesting.
Yeah, I'll challenge him in the routing department because a lot of what the players are right now at that level is speed. The main more routing than speed players are Bry Guy, me, Mason, Game, I guess. Rasmus is somewhere in the middle of that. But for the most part, there's not a ton of the routing over speed players. It's a lot of more the routers trying to contend with the top speed players. Jeff also balanced most of the time, yes.
Yeah, I would say I'm a little faster than I would say Ramato would give me credit for, because I think my bingo speed is actually better. But we're not talking about me right now. I think I'm a balanced player.
Slow. Keep him.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm not faster than Ramato. That's not what. But yeah, let's move on. Denial versus Tomato. Do we have a way to see the formats? Because I feel like formats are very important. I just see the
Denial Tomato is draft.
Okay. Interesting. Who picked that? Tomato?
Tomato? I think technically he has regular lockout listed right now, but he talked about wanting to change the pick to draft in scheduling discussion, which
Interesting.
I don't know if it'll change or not. I don't know. It's up in the air.
That's also something we should talk about with the format real quick. There are no limits anymore on how many formats you can play. So theoretically you could go the entire season playing the same match, I think.
No,
same format.
There's some limits. You can't pick the format you played the most.
Oh. What? Okay, that's fine. That's a little interesting, but it makes sense, I guess.
Yeah, so you can't just solely play it. I don't know if they can't pick it either. I don't know. There's a lot of rules. It's a lot of weird stuff and weird scenarios, but it's generally you can play. Generally, there's some limits.
Okay, good to know. Sorry for the misinformation, but yeah, I don't know who will win. I think Tomato's pretty favored in going to that match. He's, like you said, Denial's going to need a few weeks to get back into it.
Draft is also a format where you definitely need a little bit to remember how to draft.
Well, what's interesting though is I feel like giving Denial draft kind of makes it more open for him to win. Am I wrong in saying that?
I could.
Deny, if you give I feel like giving a slower player draft is actually pretty decent for them if they're good at a misinformation game. They can also, that can go the other way.
I will also say that during Season 1, Denial was probably the best at draft in Div 3.
Oh yeah.
Potentially even better than Peaches at it, at least at the drafting portion, mostly because I taught him and, I'm good at it. But
yeah, so that's an interesting pick because you would think Tomato would maybe try to speed bully him a bit in regular, but yeah. I don't know. I'm fine with it. I mean, it's not like putting Tomato at a severe disadvantage. It's just something
No,
Tomato might feel like
it might close it a little bit.
Yeah, that's basically what I'm saying. Anyway, Urbani Mason, in what is this? I would assume Mason would pick row control.
Mason hasn't shown up or is still away, so he hasn't been able to pick a format and stuff and schedule.
Okay. What do you predict? I predict Mason will probably pick row control, but
he probably will row control. If he wants to play safe, he row controls. He might also just take lockout.
Mason would do lockout. Mason's good at lockout, like actually.
He will not pick draft, and he will probably not pick invasion.
I would not pick invasion against Urbani.
Mason is also very good at invasion, for what it's worth, but I feel like Urbani's very much shown, I'm good at invasion, don't pick this against me.
If he picks invasion against Urbani, I'm questioning my entire life. To be fair, I'm going to do that anyway, but like...
Exactly.
Yeah, I would not... He'll probably pick regular or row control. Like,
most likely.
I feel like row control is the good choice for him, but do you think Urbani will... Do you think Urbani will do well against Mason here?
Urbani will be fine, I think. Mason, I will say, has generally, like... he has these weird issues with faster players. It showed last season against Peaches. And like, he had that Papa issue in Season 1. He tends to struggle a little bit more with players who are faster than him than I think others do.
Yeah.
So I think Urbani definitely is able to contend with him. Do I think Urbani will outroute Mason? No. Especially if it's row control. But I could definitely see some speed bullying occurring. I could see this occurring.
I think Urbani has a chance at outrouting Mason in regular lockout. I don't think in row control.
I could see it. I don't even know if he has to outroute him. He could, like, the thing about being faster in regular lockout is you just have to be like, you have to have a competent route more than a good route.
I feel like your start in regular is also very important. Like, if there's a bunch of Rico, Bianco, like, how do you divide that up? How do you divide the goals, like 15 Ms? I feel like it's like kind of a grasp game at the beginning. Like, how much can you grab in early game and try to carry that momentum into mid and late game?
Yep.
Is how I always see regular. Whereas row control, I don't know. Anything can happen, really. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I assume it'll be a row control, but regular is also valid. JJ versus Jeff. I'll give you the floor on that. How do you think that's going to go down? I don't want to speak about myself because that's hard to do objectively.
What's the format?
I picked regular.
You picked regular. It's, I don't know. That's probably just an even matchup. JJ is really weird as a player because, like, I'm trying to think, could Jeff react to the whatever dumb thing JJ does? And I would go, it's still like 50-50 if, like, Jeff's like, oh, yeah, this is free. Or, what? So I would say it's probably JJ favored just because his unpredictability is so weird.
I won't deny that. I don't deny I'm not favored. JJ's definitely favored over me. But I didn't want to pick draft against him. He's very good at a misinformation game, and
oh yeah, he's very good at that.
Like he'll just draft something, and then he'll
draft and immediately go to Serena. There is no exception.
That's what happened in our draft match. I was like, okay,
there doesn't even have to be Serena on the card. This is the same thing with Linky. They're going to Serena.
Yeah, and sometimes it works. Sometimes he'll go to like Sandbird, and it won't work, but. I just don't want to deal with it, and I actually think I'm pretty good at regular. I think JJ actually has said regular is one of his weakest formats, so that's why. But that being said, yeah, he's still favored. He can play a misinformation game with me. He can speed bully me if the card is right for it. Granted, I'm pretty good at playing against faster players in regular, so we'll see how it goes. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about that. I actually picked JJ, so it's like even though JJ picked me, like I had him on my list as well, it just kind of worked. So
yeah, it was like Jeff picked JJ didn't submit a list, but JJ got the pick and Jeff didn't get to pick this week.
Yeah,
and then he just RNG'd his way into JJ anyways, so it was kind of funny.
Yeah, So it's not a matchup I'm scared of. I wanted a challenge. I thought it would like motivate me a little bit more to like practice this week. So yeah.
Yep.
May versus Denial. I don't know if I have really anything to say about this match.
This is Invasion.
Really? That's interesting. Okay.
Yeah, Denial picked Invasion. I
I
know
like that
Denial
pick.
likes Invasion.
Invasion's sick. I love Invasion. I'm just bad at it.
I think I want to see what happens because like there's a lot of unknowns. May had a rough season last season, but Denial obviously hasn't played in a while.
Yeah.
So it could be a really odd match. It could be good. There's a lot of variables that just mean I don't know what's going to happen. So
Right.
I can't really say who's going to win. I think I'd favor Denial, but it's very slight.
I do want to point out that May actually did scrims in the off season. Like
Yes.
they were actually like every week for a little bit pinging the scrimmer roll. So they may actually, that was a bad pun. Sorry. I didn't mean to do that. They may actually God, I hate myself.
God damn it, Jeff.
They might actually do pretty well. I didn't really mean to make it, and I just kind of rolled with it. But they may actually do very well this season. I have faith. I have faith in May.
Yep.
They said they've been grinding in the chat. I would hope the best for them. So let's hope it goes well.
See, maybe we'll see like a Yato scenario where May goes from last to like, oh damn, they actually are decent at this game.
Yeah, I could see it. Anyway, yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about that match. I didn't even say that much. You said most of it, but yeah.
True.
Schmidt versus Darkman. I think this matchup is pretty balanced. What is the format?
Invasion.
Invasion?
Yep.
I think it's a pretty balanced format. Maybe Schmidt's a little favored because he's been practicing a ton. But it should be a good one. Darkman, don't really remember.
Had a really interesting ending to the season, I think.
He almost came back. Like, he didn't start off super strong, but he had some, like, okay matches at the end, from what I remember.
Yeah, I think that's what happened. Darkman could show up. I don't know. That does sound even, I think, because Schmidt's been grinding and Darkman hasn't. But Darkman probably, I would still say, has the tournament experience advantage.
Yeah.
Schmidt, it is very understated that you want to play a couple tourney matches before you realize, oh, it is a little different than scrims.
Yeah. Yeah. Everyone, when their first tournament match, is a little nervous. Maybe not everyone, but pretty much everyone. So it's very different than playing a scrim. Like, you don't have your chat to read. You can't listen to music. You can't just like open your phone and like go to Twitter. You know, you kind of have to. I don't know if people do that anyway. I do that, but that's just me. You want to focus.
You can't listen to music. Keepo.
I mean, you can listen to music, but like I personally wouldn't because I would lose my focus.
Yeah, I mean, I'd probably pull up some random song and then start jamming to it and be like, die
that
4 times.
Might be a good way to like get your mind off of nerves. I don't know. Maybe okay. Everyone play music. I don't do it.
Yeah, everybody, you're playing music now. I've decided for you, Keepo.
Yeah, they'll be playing Invasion. So it should be a good one. So Dex Haywire. What's the format?
I should really just have this up all the time.
I don't have the list of formats, unfortunately.
Where's Dex Haywire? There's Dex. His name once. Oh, there it is. Row Control. Okay, so it's Dex favored.
Yeah, Dex is pretty solid at row control. I would favor Dex as well. He recently had a mini tournament where he beat Mason and Peaches, which is pretty good wins. Pretty. They're like essentially, if we go by the old format, Div 1 players.
Yeah.
Top players overall, so definitely solid wins. I don't know. I've seen Dex have a few row control scrims where he kind of got demolished, if I'm being honest.
I'm not saying Haywire is definitely like guaranteed to win, but Dex is favored. Dex, as a player, I've seen like, oh, okay, he's really good. And then like he's kind of like me, where like occasionally he'll just really have no idea what he's doing.
Yeah. Like, I did a scrim against him because I was like, wow, like, he's just, Mason and Peaches. Didn't really, like, we didn't have that close of a scrim. Not trying to be mean. Yep. But it was a little not close, so I don't know. I feel like he could either completely pop off, or like Haywire could just destroy him. Like, Haywire...
I think it's dependent, because I don't think Haywire's much of a, like, he goes off or he doesn't. He's more of, like, you know what you're getting with Haywire. While Dex is more of the, he could be really good, he might not show up.
I don't know. Haywire at least has the benefit of being a Ramato student. So
yeah, but Ramato sucks, so he has never had a successful student.
Yeah. Hey. We're not going that far. All right. That's toxic.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a coin flip, that match, to me. But I think Dex is slightly favored still. So like maybe a coin flip where like one side is weighted a little bit. If that's possible. I don't know.
Yeah.
That'd be a woke idea, like getting a coin that you can like weight to one side and just rig. I don't know if that's possible, but
I think you're trying to be a cheater.
I mean, you couldn't do it online, so
leave that to the casinos, Jeff.
True. I'll pitch that to them. I'd probably make a lot of money. Anyway, Schmidt versus Zale.
I got nothing.
Do you know the format?
I can find that one. If I can find it. Up there it is. Schmidt, Zale. Where's the others? Schmidt, Zale. Draft. Okay.
Ooh.
I don't think that helps me.
I don't know. I don't really have much to say about this match. Like, Schmidt could win. Zale could win. I don't know.
I'm legally required to cheer against Schmidt because he dissed Beach Money today. But so I'm definitely cheering for Zale, Kipo. But
I don't know. I don't know who wins that. It could be any of them. I
got nothing.
It's also the issue we faced with Div 3 last season and the season before, where it's like, I don't know, how do you predict these players? One could like completely try for the first 2 weeks and then stop caring, and then one could just be really good, and then one could, I don't know. You can't predict some of these like early matchups. They're very difficult. I'm sorry, but
yep, I can't tell right now. It's definitely up in the air.
Yeah. Anyway, the next match isn't much better. Bread Ghost Darkman. Although I think I would favor Bread Ghost pretty well.
Bread Ghost Darkman, you said?
Yeah.
Yes.
I would favor Bread Ghost.
That is, again, like, Bread Ghost has shown he's either really good or he forgets how to play the game.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it's him forgetting how to play the game. I haven't actually watched a scrim of his, but he's popped off and also not popped off.
See, like, I think Bread Ghost has lost to people around Darkman's level in scrims. Like, yes. I think Schmidt is close to Darkman's level. I think Dingeman's a little better than Darkman, so I guess that's not the best comparison at this point, but I don't know. It could go either way. I think it's like a 60-40 is how I'd put that match.
Probably. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Rasmus versus Urbani format.
I really should just stay on the match schedule. This one is Invasion.
Ooh, saucy. I like it. I like it.
So Urbani was cruel and chose Invasion because Rasmus has been very much known for not liking. I don't know if it's not liking or not knowing how to play Invasion. I don't remember which it is.
Rasmus is not the greatest Invasion player, if I'm being completely honest. Like, it's just not a format he was around for. Like, okay, here's a fun fact about Rasmus. I think he's done every bingo tournament except for the Invasion tournament. If Ramato DM'd me once and said that.
I remember the first tournament he was in, and, like, I think he played, like, was it Game Stabled?
It was Tober.
It might have been Tober too. No, he definitely had a game stabled match as well. But he basically got like they rattled off 3 straight matches of invasion against him.
Wait, Tober was season 1, actually.
Yeah, no, it was season 1. I think he played Tober game stabled and then somebody else in invasion.
Yeah,
and like he was like 4-3 with all 3 of his losses being invasion.
yeah. No, I mean Rasmus is a great player overall. Don't get me wrong, but when it comes to like his weakness, it is invasion. So I think Urbani did pick the right one. That being said, it's not like a guaranteed win.
No,
I don't think anyone would say that. Yeah, it's not a guaranteed win. It's not like you can just pick a player's weaker format and be like, haha, like it's a free win. Like it's just not how it works. Rasmus is a smart guy. If he gets the right card, he can definitely just route well. And like I think it does come down to like what Rasmus sees in the start. Starts are like everything in invasion. If you don't start well, if you don't set up enough, you could, kind of get destroyed. If you prepare for everything and you see your line and ways to get through and like what goals are important in the middle, you could be fine with like any side as long as it's not like 9 Delfinos, eel, like 9 pipes kind of garbage. Like as long as there's like 2 or 3 or at least 3 goals, you'll be.
I think you can do it with 2 because usually there's usually like you can route in the 3rd bad one.
Yeah, you could just like at the end do a 3rd and then maybe like get another line of clicks. So
yeah,
I feel like any side in invasion is fine. We're talking about invasion more than the actual match, but whatever. I think Urbani will have a pretty good chance, but I don't think it's a free win.
Yeah. I think it's even. I think it's dead even.
Yeah, it'll be a good one. It'll be a good one, regardless. Deathflying Lego.
Sorry, Lego. Actually, it's fine. I gotta see the format because
I'm going to the website.
Road control, okay. I think that helps Lego a little bit. I'd still favor Deathline.
I would too,
but I don't. Road control's interesting. Deathline's definitely been very hit or miss.
Deathline is like more of a classic bingo player. I would imagine he's not bad at road control.
Yeah, that's like if you want to play some of the players who used to play bingo a lot more and like are just now getting back into it. You want like Rasmus was kind of like this too, where you want to pick invasion and you want to pick draft because they're not going to know how to deal with it probably.
Yeah.
Deathline's been scrimming. Obviously, Lego hasn't. He really can't.
Yeah. So I'm going to favor Deathline pretty hard still. Sorry, Lego. Maybe not pretty hard. Like, I'd say like 70-30.
Something like that, I think. I'd say it reaches the point where if Deathline beat Lego, I think I'd be surprised. Which I can't say for a lot of the matches. Or if Lego beat Deathline.
Yeah,
did I say that? I don't remember what I said.
No, you said the opposite.
Okay. But it's not that it's like it couldn't happen. Like there might be some matchups in the future where it's like, nope, this ain't happening. But it should be probably it'll be I think it could be a fine match. I just favor Deathline.
Yeah, it's not going to be like a stomp. Or, it could, but any match could theoretically be a stomp, but...
Yeah.
We'll see. Juka Dex. Now, what's the format, actually? Let me looky here on sms.bingo, Lego plug. Or not really Lego plug, it's just a plug for the community. Just regular.
Yep. Regular.
Now, if you ask me about this, like, even, like, at mid... last season, I'd say it's either even or Juka favored, but I think Dex has just gotten pretty solid to the point where Dex is pretty favored. But
I think it's Dex favored, but I want to see what Juka's form is in order for it to realistically like influence my opinion on it.
Juka could do fine. Like Juka, she was getting it down like at the end of last season. Like she was starting to realize like the flow of bingo. Like you do a little in early game, then pin up, blah, blah, blah. I think she'll do fine as long as she just kind of remembers some things the last season. If she's a little rusty, it'll be a little weaker. I don't know. It's not... I'd say it's like 40-60 dex. Or, excuse me. 60-40 dex. Maybe a little higher dex, but yeah, dex is 60.
I think it might be closer. I don't know. Again, it depends if Juka's... like, if Juka's starting to show what they were towards the end of last season...
Yeah.
Okay. I could definitely see Juka putting on a show.
Yeah, for sure.
Would I expect that they're probably not at that level at this moment? Yeah, probably, but I don't know. I'm intrigued to see.
Her speed is still intact. Like, she's been grinding any percent on and off. She did some 120, so we'll see.
Yeah, the speed's still good. Most of Juka's issues have been
just routing.
Yeah, it's usually like, and like there's like not routing well, and then there's like there's these Juka moments, and like I remember last season I saw Juka basically like went to Bianco, and then left Bianco, went to Pinna, grabbed a half of a linked pair, didn't even grab the other half, and then went back to Bianco. Yeah, there's just these weird moments where it's like, I don't know what you're planning right now. I don't know if you know what you're planning right now.
It could come down to like nerves, even like you're just like really nervous.
And there's moment. Nerves, there's stuff like that, but
yeah, like I'm sure if Juka saw that, weird. They'd be like, "Wow, like what did I do?" But
what am I doing? Yeah, that's what I would expect them to say.
But when you're nervous, maybe indecisive, it's a little, it's fair. Yeah, we'll see how that goes.
I always said Derp had a similar issue as that.
Lego versus Tomato. This match should be even. I'm gonna say this match is even, or like close to even. Maybe Tomato's a little favored.
I think because Lego can't play enough, I'd say Tomato favored.
Yeah, that's also what I'm gonna go with. But I think it's not like a stomp.
I forget what the format is.
It's draft. Yeah, draft is a good good draft will again help Tomato or help the slower player in this match, which is Lego.
Yeah. I think Lego could outdraft Tomato.
For
Lego's very smart, and I think while I don't think like his draft has been like an insane thing, it's been like you could still tell, yeah, he knows what he's doing.
Well, Lego's benefit is he's commentated so many matches by now.
Oh yeah. Yeah, Lego's got commentary every week, multiple times by a lot. He
absolutely
restreams. Lego sees everything.
Lego's probably seen and critiqued over, maybe not over, but like I'd imagine close to like 100 drafts, whether that's just being in chat and watching it or it's like actually full on commentating it. Lego has studied a ton of draft.
Whether intentionally studied or not intentionally studied,
yeah.
He's definitely paid attention to what drafts are.
Lego knows his stuff. Now I'm not saying Tomato hasn't, he's just not as much. So we'll see. Tomato definitely giving some interesting picks to his opponents. Now, it's not like they're picks that are, like, gonna totally give them the win, right? But they're picks that I think actually favor his opponents a little bit more, which is interesting. Speaking of picks that favor your opponent a little bit more, never mind. That doesn't apply here. But let's just go on the next thing. I tried to do a cute segue. Ramato versus Mason. It kind of does apply, because they're playing row control.
Yeah, it applies. It's just also Ramato's.
Yeah.
I think it's Ramato's best.
It does apply. For a second, I thought they were doing lockup for some reason, but then I actually remember I suggested Ramato do row control because you're favored anyway. Give the guy a format he likes, you know, because for those who don't remember, Mason challenged Ramato last season to a row control, despite being, you know, the underdog. It wasn't a complete stomp, which is really interesting. Like, it wasn't that competitive, to be fair, but Mason had a very legit game plan. He just kind of like messed up a thing or two, and it kind of just fell apart.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing it, and I think he just was missing a goal.
Right. It was like he had a game plan in place. It was just executed a little poorly. So that's why I argue, despite Ramato having a somewhat dominant win, it wasn't like a stomp. It was just Mason. He went for a kind of more out there route, which you kind of have to do if you're him. And it just wasn't executed perfectly, which to be fair is very hard. So
Yeah.
this match actually has the potential now to be pretty good, I think.
I think it can be a good match, even if I would say Ramato wins in almost every scenario.
Yeah, Ramato is definitely favored. I don't think anyone will deny that, but it could be a good match regardless. I don't know. Do you have anything else to say about that?
No. Ramato Peaches, it speaks for itself. It's Ramato.
Yeah.
It's like, I was thinking about this match, and it's basically just like, welcome to Div 1, and then Ramato punches Peaches in the nuts. But then, like, yeah, that's just the basic summary of that match.
PK Deathspin should be interesting. It's Lockout, which
I don't like Lockout.
Yeah, I was about to say. Deathspin is fast. Deathspin is very fast. He has like a low 115. He has like a low 115 any percent. He has like a 306, 120 or something. Pretty good times all around. Granted, he's new to routing. You know how to play against faster players. It's not in the bag for him because of his speed.
No. If anything, it's still probably me favored, even in
I would say
regular.
That, yeah.
But the way I look at Despin, it's the same as what Ramato Mason is. Where I said Ramato Mason was basically Ramato's kicking Mason. It's instead me being like, I'm gonna get you, Despin, and then I punch myself in the face.
Yeah, you start Rico 1-100s, keep him.
Yeah, I'll start Rico 1-100s and instantly lose the match. It's just what I do. But I would say I will definitely out-route Despin. It's just, is his route competent enough to where I can't really deal with that? Or does he speed bully me to the start and I'm like, crap.
Yeah. So, it should be a good one. I'm actually looking forward to that one. Then we have Despin versus Yato, which that is a matchup if I've ever heard one.
Despin Yato sounds hype.
What is the? Let me look. Where is this? Is this on the site?
I've been using Discord for it. Despin Yato.
Draft. Ooh, I like that pick from Yato. Yato. He picked Draft. That is a good choice from Yato, I think. Should actually favor him a little bit. Maybe not favor. I don't know. It's a good pick, though. It's a good pick. What do you think?
Yeah. Draft is very good. Almost to the point where I'd almost consider favoring Yato.
Yeah, I agree. It's a very... Despin has not played a lot of Draft. If any. Like, he's been scrimming, but I do not think he's played a single Draft match, unless I am low-braining right now. Small-braining, not low-braining. I don't know.
Negative braining.
I don't think if Despin hasn't done scrims of this, I don't really see how he wins.
Yeah, if he has nothing, he's not gonna win. I don't see a way he beats Yato in that.
He needs to do some studying or like do a scrim or two this week if he wants to like have a good shot, because if you do like a first draft match is really tough. Like we saw this with Paper Ario in season 1, who like he didn't scrim, he didn't really know the format. Larvitar did, and Paper like drafted like 5 blue skulls, like 80 totals or something. I don't think it was 80, but it was like 60. And it was like 20 from 2, 45.
Got it.
And then Larvy's like, all right, cool. I'm just not going to do blues. Have fun.
Yep. Yeah, it's weird. It's a very weird format if you don't have experience with it.
Yeah.
Which is why it's always going to be a bad one the first time you play it. Unless your like speed difference is so significant that it doesn't matter. But I don't think that's the case. Like, Despin's a lot faster than Yato, but
speed will mitigate that a lot. Yeah, if Yato drafts like Pinna goals, for instance, right? It's like, all right, first to Pinna doesn't matter as much. Yato could get there at like 25 minutes. Whereas in a regular lockout, Yato would like be like, all right, can I even make it there in 20 minutes? Like, would I have to Delfino rush? It completely changes the course of the game a bit.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. I'm looking forward to that. I think Yato nailed it with his pick there. I'm
that was
actually
great for
proud of him.
Yato.
Good pick from Yato there. Ramato Peaches.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything I can say about Ramato Peaches that isn't said about Ramato Mason. I don't remember the format.
Why would Ramato pick Peaches? It's so mean, dude.
Peaches draft.
Good pick. It's a good pick, but like I think it's a good pick. I think Peaches also
Ramato pick draft, right? Yeah, I would say that's good for Ramato.
I think Peaches picked it.
Was it?
Right-hand player picks format, yeah.
That was Peaches. Oh, okay.
I think it's a good pick. I don't think he's favored in any format, to be honest. No one really is, besides maybe... not even Danny, really, but... yeah, you know what? I think Peaches picked a good format. I
also think regular would have been better.
For what it's worth, like... I'll touch on that in a sec, but for what it's worth, I've beaten Ramato in drafts. Peaches is, like, not far off of me at this point. Ramato has a bad day, and Peaches shows up. Yeah, Peaches will at least make it a 13-5. Yeah, but maybe not that. I mean, like, playing for your entire draft is really not easy. So, and like,
it's also usually bad. It's also like if you draft one goal that's out of your way, you're probably not getting all of them. So if Ramato's just like, yeah, there's 5 Rico goals here. You can have Rico. I'm gonna just take all other 20 goals. It's fine.
Yeah. So I'm rooting. You know what? I'll root for Peaches just because he's the underdog, and I think he picked a. Why do you think regular would have been better? Why do you? That's a
Why do I think regular would have been better? I think it leads the most potential for like Ramato missing something. I don't think that is the case in draft. I definitely don't think it's the case in row control. But I think in regular, I feel like Ramato has the best chance of like overseeing something. And I don't think Peaches is bad enough to, I think he's good enough to see that. To see some weird play that actually has merit. Usually they don't work against Ramato, but I've definitely seen it happen sometimes where Ramato's like, oh, yeah, that was, oops. And then he's like, okay. And then he eats a spicy pizza, and then he suffers the next week.
Okay, let's put this in perspective. Like, Peaches is probably, like, besides the speed, is probably not that far off of Trey, and Trey, beat Ramato, so I don't know.
Peaches Trey is honestly not that bad of a comparison.
Yeah, like Peaches is pretty.
Bring back Connect 5 because Peaches absolutely would have picked Connect 5.
Peaches is pretty good at Connect 5. Yeah, I'll give
Peaches loves Connect 5.
Peaches is a Connect 5 supporter and was mad at Ramato for axing it.
Yeah, Ramato got rid of it because he lost the Trey. It's pretty obvious, Kipo.
Yeah, Ramato. I was gonna talk about Connect 5 in this. Like, it was on my list of things, but I was like, we talked about this so much. So. Rip Connect 5. I would have been fine with it returning, but I personally did not like it. It's just a personal thing.
See, I loved it, so it was like...
You just like chaos, though, so that's just...
I do love chaos. These like, random BS moments, like, whoa, okay.
Like, I wouldn't have quit the league if it came back or anything. It's not a format I like, though. Like, it's just not, But I wouldn't have, like, really done anything. Like, I would have been fine with it. I would have lived.
It was one of the 3 formats where I was like, yes, I can beat anyone in this.
But yeah, like, I had nothing to do with the decision. I don't know.
Peaches was our match Connect 5. I know our match was sick.
Anyway, that's all I have to say about Ramato Peaches.
Yeah.
Yato Deathline. That's actually a pretty close matchup, I think.
Dang, Yato got Deathspin and Deathline? It was Invasion. It was still 13-12, so.
What did Deathline pick here? Lockout, which is something Deathline is very good at, to be fair.
Yeah, that's a good Deathline pick.
Yeah, good pick from Deathline. Is like, the thing about Deathline that bothers me, he's actually a good player. He just doesn't have, like, he just always talks bad about himself, and then I feel like that kind of works into his, like, plays. Like, oh, I'm washed, I'm just gonna lose. I really want him to just, like, say he's good. I know it's kind of... it sounds mean, but I'm really not. I just want to see him say he's good, because I think Deathline has the potential to be a really good player. I think he just needs to, like, say he's like good at routing and just kind of pop off. Because he's a good player. If he just he puts the work in. Like everything he signs up for, like the sandbox relay tournament, he was like grinding hard. He's been doing a lot of scrims. Like he puts the work in. He's not that washed anymore, in my opinion. I think Deathline has the potential to do very well. That being said, Yato also puts the work in. So
yes, yep. I think that's probably just an even matchup. If I favor anyone, I think I favor Deathline just because of the format.
I do as well. I think Deathline will.
If it was any of the other 3 formats, I'd probably favor Yato.
Yeah.
But I think with regular, it's probably Deathline favor. He has a lot of experience in that format.
Yeah. So, should be good. Bread Ghost versus Tanuki Mario numbers.
Tanuki Mario numbers.
So, I cannot really... I mean, I'm just gonna say Bread Ghost is favored. I mean, we don't know anything about Tanuki Mario. He said he got the game 3 days ago.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm rooting for him, but I don't know. It's gonna be tough. He picked row control, which is actually really interesting, like as a newer player.
Yeah, Tanuki knows what's up. It's me, Kipo.
Tanuki, if you're still here, can we just ask, like, have you been like studying Bingo in the Shadows? Like, what made you play? Like, I don't like calling people out in a podcast, but like, we haven't talked to Tanuki that much, so I actually want to hear from him like a little bit. Like, what like I want to hear like his thought process behind like joining and like row control
Taco
pick.
Show? Oh, it should have been the Taco Show. Taco! No, we just changed it to Taco! Oh, it's so good! Sorry. Anyways.
Well, this is not the permanent name, so we could change it maybe. I'm
Taco.
cool with whatever. That'd be funny. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how this will go. It could be a stomp. It could be if Tanuki Mario's been like studying routing and practicing into the 3 days he got the game. Could be close. I don't know.
I don't think Tanuki will win if they are actually got it 3 days ago. If they're studying, honestly, Tanuki could figure it out during the season.
Yeah. I think the first week will be rough, though.
Yeah. I would expect first week is painful. I watched every Div 1 match Season 1 and every match Season 2. That is a lot of matches.
You know what?
That is a lot of matches.
That is a lot of matches. I'm looking forward... Dude, I want to see Tanuki Mario just completely kick ass. That's what I want.
That is like 3 times as many matches as I watched, and I was a restreamer.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I've probably seen like 60% of Div 1 in like Season 1. Oh wait, of Div 1? I've probably seen most of the Div 1 matches. I thought you were talking overall. But yeah, at Season 2, I've probably only seen like 50%, 60%, so that's more than me. So, should be interesting. Anyway.
Starting plates at the same.
True. We're still suffering from trauma of JJ making an alt account. We're all traumatized. God damn it, JJ. We ban JJ, Kipo.
Thinking about it, Kipo.
Anyway.
Give Jeff the loss anyways, also Kipo, but no Kipo.
Jeff Compass versus Peaches is the final match. Peaches picked. He picked row control. I think he picked well. I'm not bad at row control, so it's not like he's gonna just like get a free win. It's probably not my best format, I'll give you that, but I'm not like bad at it. So I still think he picked well. That being said, I'm still a solid player, so he's gonna have to put the work in. It's not an insane difference anymore. Probably like 60-40 is how I would put this match. Maybe a little less.
Yeah.
Maybe a little more. I don't know.
Yeah, there's definitely a chance. I got tired. Alright, there's definitely a chance Peaches could win. Row control seems fine for a pick.
It was a good pick. I don't... Like, I said it on stream.
Yeah, but you're always more negative on yourself.
No, I think I'm being...
fine at it.
I think I'm being fair. I think I'm saying it's not my best format. I'm still good at it, though. Like, I'm a good player all overall. So it's like... Yeah, I don't think Peaches would have had a pick where it's just like, all right, Jeff's done. If Connect 5 was here, maybe Kipo, but it's not. So
yeah, no, if it was Connect 5, I'd be like, yeah, Peaches probably wins.
Yeah, to be fair, okay. I don't even think I'm bad at Connect 5, though. That's the thing anymore. Like, I almost beat Shadow Mario in it. I know I screwed up. I know there was, like, a goal that he delayed or something. Whatever. I still almost beat him. You can't take it away from me.
He just is a coward and doesn't even finish off the Connect 5s. That's the problem.
I also almost beat Mike in it. So it's like, I don't really think you could say I'm, like, horrible at Connect 5. Like, I don't think it... But it definitely would have helped Peaches a little bit.
Would have helped Peaches, definitely.
So, yeah. I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. I think Peaches picked a good pick. I said that on stream as he picked it, because I was streaming while this nonsense was happening. Anyway, that's all our matches we got. Should be a good week. Matches start tomorrow, I think.
Yeah.
So I think they're all scheduled by now. So
no, besides the Mason ones.
Yeah, Mason is a little aloof. I think he just had his wedding, and now he's on a honeymoon. I assume he doesn't
back tomorrow.
Probably doesn't have Wi-Fi. I don't know where he is, where he wouldn't have Wi-Fi, but you know.
I think he's in the Bahamas. I don't know.
Hanging out with Rick.
It's something in the mid Latin America. I can't think of it.
I don't know. I hope he's having a good time.
El Salvador. I'm going with El Salvador.
Costa Rica.
Damn it.
Dude, Costa Rica sounds good. I'm just hungry though.
And
I'm just thinking of like food.
Who wants to go to El Salvador?
God damn it, PK. This is... You're banned, Kipo.
I'm banning myself.
Anyway. I don't know. I don't have anything else to say. Do you have any other closing thoughts? Is there any, like, topics anyone wants to, like... I don't know. I don't really think there's much to say.
Nope.
We went overtime. This is only supposed to be, like, an hour. So
2 hours, Pog.
Like an hour and a half. It's 1:25 on my OBS right now. And
yeah, we started at 15, not 12:45. Yeah.
Talk about Minecraft. I don't know anything about Minecraft. I played it once.
I watched
twice.
Papa do a speed run of it. That looked like pain.
Did he finish a run? Because Ouija was doing speed runs of it, but like he didn't finish a run after like a month because he just couldn't get the right run going. It's like RNG, the speed run.
Yeah.
It sounds like you would like it, PK, because it's chaotic.
No, there's like... No, I have an irrational hatred for Minecraft, so...
I am, like, indifferent to it. Like, I played it maybe twice, and I was like, alright, it's fine. I don't really want to play this again. But I'll play it if someone really wants me to play with me. But, like, I don't really want to. Anyway. I'm looking forward to the week. Join the Discord if you haven't. I'll do the little, promotion thing. Do we have a command for it? Okay, good. Join the Discord. Go to the website if you haven't. I've been Jeff Compass, joined by the Komodo himself. Or the Kiwi himself.
Kiwi, technically.
Yeah, whatever you are.
I'm something.
And yeah, anyone have any raid targets? Who's live? Is Bread Ghost live? I know he's doing a scrim.
There was a yeah, I think it was Bread Ghost and
we'll raid Sid. Guy is also live, but Guy has more viewers, so we're gonna raid Sid. Thanks everyone who came by today. I had a fun time. And yeah.
Yeah. Peace out.